Hi friends, it's Diane the Creative Inkster. It is a few minutes after 7 and I want to thank you for hanging in there with me as I finished up a Zoom meeting. And I know we'll be real quick tonight with these projects because they are, as billed, quick and simple. Today is Monday, March 27th. And that's what we're playing with, some of the in colors that started with us last May and go for a 2-year cycle. And I really haven't highlighted them specifically in a little while and thought I would do that. So if you're watching live, please leave me a comment. And of course, if you're watching the replay, chime in. It's good to know who's been here watching. And I think we'll just get started. It's already 10 after 7, and I know many of you do catch the replay. Tonight we're going to play with Flowers of Friendship. It used to be a bundle. It no longer is a bundle, I don't think. Am I right? Am I wrong? No, it is still a bundle. Absolutely. Beautiful stamp set. I haven't used it in a little while, but it's perfect for the technique I want to share with you tonight. Hi, Vicki. We're going to just do a little stamping on a piece of white in black and a little greeting. Now you could add color if you wanted to the greeting, but the magic I want to show you is flicking with your Stampin' Right markers and and using that on here. So let's talk about the supplies. I asked you to make 4 cards. I'm going to do the 5 in colors. I've already done this one with Parakeet Party. But I'm probably going to use that color again. So these are the other 4 colors I'm going to play with, but you could use any colors. And so I asked you to have 4 card bases, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4, which will fold in the middle. So I'll just tuck those to the side. And then for this strip here, cut off a piece, or you probably have it in your stash, of 1.5 by 5.5. So it goes right across your card base. And being 1.5, you would get 4 out of a 6 by 6 sheet and so many more out of a 12 by 12. So perfect for using these little stacks with. And I've just cut from my cast-offs. I think one I actually had to cut into a sheet, but the rest of them are just cast-offs from what I had left over from other projects. Because 1.5 means that the piece that was across that I originally came from was 4.5. Sorry, can't quite see that. I'm writing on my I'm moving my finger along the line here, and you're not even seeing that. So it would be a 4.5. So perfect for the piece that you cut off the edge. Then you need 4 matching squares. They're 3 by 3. So each one that matches, it's in color or patterned paper. And then 4 pieces of white that are square, 2 3/4. And you guessed it, they're going to layer right on top. So let's jump right in and do these. I don't want to mess up my nice clean sheet, but I think that's what's going to happen here. No problem. All right, so as to not make a mess on everything, I'm just going to tuck my sample over here on the right. I'm going to grab my black ink pad and the large flower. And I did learn from doing this first that I probably want my greeting stamped first. That way, if I get my flower in, it's not going to be covering it up. Not that it makes a big difference, but you know. Hi, Brenda. Hi, Claire. Welcome. Okay, so we're going to stamp this here. Now, I know that I'm terrible at putting my little stickers on my stamps. I get them crooked all the time. So I still, when I'm making stamping it on something, I still go on my scratch paper and I kind of line it up to make sure if I know I need to move a little to the right or a little to the left. I probably will always do that. And then I'm more likely to get it straight. So I'm good with that. All right, and then I'm going to use my Tuxedo Black Memento. This is our black ink that we have. And I'm going to pop this one over like this on the left edge. All right, so that's what we have. And then we just adhere this to one of the 3 by 3 squares. But first, I think I'm going to do the splatter first. Yeah, that's probably best. So here's the splatter technique. So with this being Tahitian Tide is the color that's going to go on this particular card, I want to get some colors that are going to coordinate nicely. So I like Sweet Sorbet. And I think I'm going to use, so in the last one I used Sweet Sorbet and the Parakeet Party. So I'm going to use my Tahitian Tide on this. And here's how you do this. You'll notice on our Stampin' Right markers, you can do this with your Stampin' Blends, but be very, very careful because the ends of those cannot be refilled, first of all, and second of all, the ends are a little more delicate. Stampin' Right markers are a little bit more sturdy for this technique and can be refilled. So what you'll see is there's a large line on one end and a thin line on the other end. The thin line is the writing end and this is the brush end. I think it also shows you a picture of a wider brush end here. That's how you know the difference between them. So I just stick it into the edge of the cap and flick. So sometimes you have to get a little closer to the paper. But once I flick, it's adding some color. And you might want to move around to see if you get it in all spots. Not sure if you could see that happening, but I'll pull it up so you can see my little splatter. So you might think this was something that happened by design. I bet someone figured out how to do it because they goofed up. And they were splattering something else and paint flew around. And they said, there we go. I have a way to make this work for me. All right, so we're going to grab the card base. I'm going to fold it. I'm going to add this. Doesn't really matter where you put it. But this is a really quick set of cards for thank yous, a bunch of birthdays, a note card set maybe. If you want to make a whole bunch of the same card. And I'm just lining this up. If you see me taking a second here to line up, it's because I'm not good at making it straight either. So I use my grid paper and I can see for lining it up a little more straight. You could also do this if you are a demonstrator and want to do a quick class. How easy is this to beginners so they learn how to stamp? They don't have to do any coloring in. It's super easy, but you're teaching them, hi Kathy, you're teaching them a technique. How cool is that? All right, so grabbing my dimensionals, I'm going to put one on each because we should just pop this up a bit. And you've got card number 2 already done here. And I've got some rhinestones. You can use whatever embellishments you've got. I tend to go with 3. Don't know why. It's just what I do. And wherever you did your stamping is going to help dictate where you put your rhinestones. I just pick them up with my scissors, but I know that you can use all different kinds of techniques. You could add more than 3 if you like, but there's my second card. So let's just move along. Hi, Valerie. Just doing this fun little splattering technique. So let's maybe do our scoring and kind of batch this work a little bit. Because now that you see me do it once, I know that you can do this. And I think it's just a fun, quick, easy little way to introduce people to stamping. Plus, if you have any markers at all, this is going to work. I'd love you to have Stampin' Right markers. But of course, whatever markers you have, this kind of thing is going to work. All right, so we've got 3 more pieces of white because I want to get a whole set of these done. These are going to be my little thank you cards. There we go. I remembered what way to twist it a little bit because it's not always on there straight. The sticker, that is. Here we go. Let's just get all our stamping done here in one fell swoop. So these white pieces are 2 3/4 square. You can make them a little bigger, a little smaller, whatever fits the stamp that you want to use. I like this nice big one here, and I've done a lot with it and colored it in, but it's kind of nice to use it just as a background piece. And the last one. And then I'm going to have a set in all of these in colors. This would make a really nice set of note cards. If you have a different stamp set that maybe has a birthday, a thank you, I'm thinking of Peaceful Moments. It has all kinds of greetings in the same stamp set. That would be perfect for a set of note cards. All right, let's get these glue. Oh no, we were going to splatter first. Right on. All right, so I'm going to next work with the Sweet Sorbet color. This one. So this time I think I'm going to use the darker Starry Sky. And I'm going to start with that and see just how dark it is, because it may be quite dark. So again, I'm looking for the brush tip. And some of these markers will be more wet than others. Depends on how juicy they are. That almost looks like a navy color. I think I want to incorporate some of the Sweet Sorbet though, because I feel like the other colors in this set are very green and blue, so as they are. And so we'll just add a little bit of Parakeet Party. So this one's going to be a little more splattered. All right, find our coordinating piece here and get this together. I just think this is kind of a fun, simple way. As I mentioned in my post at 5 o'clock, I've been doing a lot of cards that have been techniques and ideas, because I've been doing my monthly bundle class designing. So my April bundle class for the end of the month on the 25th is going to be with technique cards, all techniques, and it's going to highlight the Brood for You stamp set. But when you do my bundles, you don't have to do the actual bundle that I chose. Typically, you're going to be able to use all the supplies with any bundle, and this class is for sure that way. So already got Brood for You, no problem, pick some other product worth the value of what I'll let you know is the bundle. Or don't like that bundle, pick another bundle. And yeah, so the bundle class will include all the supplies to make 4 cards, projects, and then it will have the bundle and paper and ribbon and embellishments. It's going to have linen thread. What is it? Linen thread, classic matte dots, and no pattern paper, because we're going to do a lot of stamping. So this is a great bundle that I'm excited about doing this class. Okay, next up is Orchid Oasis. So we'll add that actual color. And I'm thinking ahead here and going, yeah, I think Parakeet Party. So this is a little bit lighter than Starry Sky. This is Orchid Oasis. Starry Sky on the left. I like the parakeet. It just adds that little gem of a pop. There we go. I'll just glue this guy down on its coordinating piece. And yeah, so I'm excited for that class. And if you're interested, let me know. The bundle is $52, so the bundle class with all the extras that you get is $90. And you can transfer me. We can talk that through. You don't have to pick your bundle right away. There's kind of a deadline by April 17th at the very latest, so we get the stuff in time. In fact, a little early would be better. And yeah, we can do this either in person, or if you're across the country, I do give you instructions on how to do all the different cards. This one I must have cut just a hair too long, so you just give it a wee haircut. And we're good to go. We're almost done. Four cards in a flash here. And I do need to sign off at 7:30. It's my bridge night. Can't keep the bridge ladies waiting, because they'll be on Zoom wondering, where is she? Where is she? Why is she not here yet? What is she doing? Actually, they probably won't be wondering. They'll probably go, we know what she's doing. She's doing that stamping thing. Oop, you didn't come with me. There we go. All right, and our last one is going on the darker Starry Sky. And these took like no time to cut either, to cut the pieces. So one more time with Sweet Sorbet, Starry Sky. I just want to take a peek and make sure I used all the colors. This needs that pop. So we used Oh, the one we didn't use as much is Tahitian Tide. So let's add a little bit of Tahitian Tide onto there. Let's see. Just like a little bit of a rainbow splatter. And so these markers are a set of 5 in the in colors. They sell for $20, and you get all 5 markers, which is nice because they kind of coordinate together, and they have coordinating paper that you can get in a pack that all matches if you don't already have it. And our other color families are usually 10 markers and are sold that way, but this is a nice reasonable way to get into the marker business because there's 5 in this set. All right, do I need to give this guy a haircut? I do, just a teeny bit. Well, thanks for watching, folks. I really appreciate you being here tonight and supporting this video. And I'll be back on Wednesday. I'm still at odds as what I'm doing. Usually I have these figured out the Friday night before. And this week I've been thinking, what do I want to do? What do I want to teach? What do I want to show? It's What's Up Wednesday. So we're going to come up with something. Between now and then, it'll be a surprise to all of us. And I know you'll enjoy it. So come on back here, 7 p.m. Wednesday evening. That's Eastern time, as you know, because you're here. It's just a good time for me to do these videos. Where's this guy going to go? We're just going to pop him over here. All right, there we are. 4 cards in a flash with my extra one. Let's show them off. Starry Sky, Orchid Oasis, Sweet Sorbet, Tahitian Tide, and the one I did at the on the weekend with Parakeet Party. So thanks so much. I really appreciate you being here. Have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.